Y'all want to flip in your Bible to Matthew chapter 20. Matthew chapter 20. I thought I was done with spots. Spots was one message deal, you know. Sometimes I get hung up on something. Like I strip a gear and I got stuck in the Dunkin' booth on July the 4th. Many of y'all might have seen that. Thanks to the missions team. Yeah. There's a lot of love in our church. For somebody. I'm in the Dunkin' booth, and I'll tell y'all something. I was the last person in the booth, right? And there's the red dot. It's just a big old red spot on the side of the booth that you're supposed to chunk the balls at to hit. And you're supposed to have to hit that spot for it to dunk you. However, in Tatum, Texas, at Bar None, they will cheat. And Jerry Busher will tie a rope on the backside of that spot and pull it whenever he feels. And then he teaches little children his evil ways. We need to pray for him. We had so much fun, and I don't know what y'all tell your kids when you leave here, but they don't like me. Because when I got in the booth, little kids lined up past the concession stand just to take their shot at me. Cody Moore says, we ain't never going to get them all done. I said, if you keep letting them chunk 3 balls apiece, we sure ain't. Cut them jokers down to 1 chunk and get them out. They had the rope. I don't even care. Harvey Cox's grandbaby didn't even hit the tarp twice. And boom. Oh, they thought it. Don't be grinning at me. You're cute, but I ain't too fond of you. I'm sitting there and I'm watching all them kids and we're all having a great time and I'm making a spectacle out of the deal, you know, and having a blast. And we go to leave and, of course, Bailey and Clay Quinn are there and they camped out right there. I mean, they thought it was hilarious that they could knock me in the water. I didn't pay a lot of attention to them throughout the deal, but on the way home, Chris said, did you watch Bailey and Clay? And I said, no, why? And she said, they got to fighting over who got to be the next in line. To the point, they are arguing with each other, you know, how brothers and sisters will do. It's me. I'm next. I know I'm next. No, they end up to the side of the line, and the line goes by them. As they argue over who's in the right spot. You know, Creech said it's the funniest thing. I mean, they would push each other, and I mean, they was going at it, and they just kept going by them. Then they'd step up and they'd get they'd take their turn, and then they'd be right back in the line, and before they could get to the end of the line, they were fighting over who was next in line. They was battling over that spot. And I said, well, I guess the spots continue. Chris said, what are you talking about? I said, ain't that what we do? We jockey for spots and fight over. I can remember, I never really done it because Dale punched hard. But you hear kids all the time, they holler, shotgun! I got shotgun! Number one, you really didn't want to sit that close to my dad. And number two, if Dale wanted it, you could call it if you wanted it. You could get in it if you wanted it, but he got it if he wanted it. So we never really got, but I hear kids do that, right? And on the school bus, we had to ride a school bus a few times. I took a pretty good lick one time from a big old obese child. Said I was in his spot. I said, is that right? Oh, you know. He said, that's my spot. I sit right there on this bus, and you're going to move. I said, no, I ain't moving. You wasn't here when I sat down, because I'd know. You a big old fat boy. He said, I'm telling you, that's my spot, and you're finna get up and move. I said, I ain't got to move. Pow! I like riding the hump. And we came to an understanding. At the age of 8, you let some things go. But I got to thinking, and I thought, well, surely mature Christians don't fight over spots. Surely not. Spiritual people, fight over physical spots? And surely, spiritual people led by Jesus Christ, who is their Lord, do not feel the pressure of holding on to a spot. You know, it's beautiful how you don't really realize it trying to get to the spot. But once you get there, all of a sudden, it all shifts and everything goes to, I'm staying. I'm holding on. Ain't nothing going to move me. I asked Brian, I said, Brian, how come it is you go to Oakwood? It's Mount Alba. Where is it you choke at every time? Where you at? Mount Alba. I said, Brian, why is it every year for the last 4 years you go to Mount Alba and you're chasing, he wants that saddle. He ropes in that dogwood deal every year. He wants that saddle. But every year, something don't work. And he's like, I don't know. He said, by golly, this year, we're high callback. They're sitting in the spot. All you got to do is catch clean, you win. I mean, he's in the spot. And he goes out and hickeys the horn. I said, what causes you to hickey a horn like that? He says, because I don't care how I catch. If it's caught, I don't care. Back leg, tail, I don't care how we catch. We're happy. But in team roping, you got guidelines. That's why I don't team rope. And if you hickey, you kind of half hitch around that tail loop on that horn. I said, what caused you to hickey? He says, well, I knew all I had to do was catch. So I go out there and I take an extra swing and we're making sure, and I follow her all the way through and put it on him, and I follow her through to the point where my loop kicks around, hickeys it. No time, lose the saddle, lose everything. Why is that? Why is that when you're high callback and all you got to do is catch? Why do you change what you've been doing? If you've been doing what you've been doing to get where you're at, why you change what you've been doing so you think you got to change it all up to stay where you're at? You know what I'm saying? You take a son on what has worked hard to finally start paying off his bills, and that son works hard to get there. The majority of them, once they finally have some financial security, they quit doing what they was doing to get where they got and start holding on to what they think they got to hold on to keep what they can't have. You see what I'm saying? But a man, when he finally figures out I'm a $20 bill man, I don't care what's in the bank. If I got 20 in my pocket, I'm okay. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But I've learned myself. So many people, why do you reckon people hit the lottery, end up divorced, can't find their kids, and flat broke? It ain't a small percentage. By far, like 75 to 85% of lottery winners within 5 years are bankrupt. It's because they quit doing what they were doing to get where they were getting. They got lucky, hit the lotto, and think, ching. They had a good spot, throw them plumb off of all their spots. But I wondered, why do we save our spot? And y'all know some of y'all save spots in church, and everybody knows I don't like it. It drives me nuts. Just honestly, it's why you hadn't had bulletins in 2 weeks. I'm tired of seeing them used for seat-saving spot. That's just ridiculous. Why waste the money? So, but I understand, listen, there's nothing wrong with having your spot. My wife, when I told her what I was preaching about today, we didn't talk for a few hours. Because she sits in the same spot every week. And I like her right there. She's the prettiest person here. I like to look at her. I was in here getting ready, putting my mic on, and I could hear one of my nephews or my daughter saying, "Get out of my seat. That's my seat." So I walked there and said, "Nana, are you fighting over seats?"